a great method through which you can have a conversation with anybody. This particular method of conversation will help you have a fluent conversation in English. You can talk to anybody with confidence and have a great conversation because you have a framework, a particular framework on how to have. Hello everybody, how are you all? Hope you're doing great. So welcome back to another session of learning English, improving your speaking skills and your conversation skills with me. Yes, today's video is all about having fluent conversations in English. Because what is the point of learning English? What is the point of speaking English? So that you can have a conversation with anybody confidently in English and you speak fluent English while doing that. But a lot of times, even after knowing how to speak English, starting a conversation, having a conversation with somebody can be problematic. A lot of times we are not sure what to say, what to ask, what to do. So today I have brought a method for you, an absolutely amazing method through which you can have absolutely fluent and confident conversation in English with anybody. Have a conversation with anybody confidently. So are you all ready for this? I'm Shivangi Gupta, your English language tutor, certified by the University of Cambridge, the UK. And before beginning, please subscribe the channel so that you do not forget to check out on all the lessons that I post for you on the channel. Please like the video and share it with your friends too. Now coming back to today's lesson, the conversation method that I have. This conversation method is something that gives you a lot of areas to talk about and you can get to know the other person more. Now this method applies to every situation. You're meeting with your friends, you can use this method. You are meeting with your colleagues, you can use this method. You are meeting somebody new at a place, you can use this method. And this method is the Ford method. Ford, F-O-R-D, Ford method. Now, no, I'm not talking about the car brand Ford, obviously not. This is a method that is going to help you improve your conversation skills. It's actually a framework which I'm going to explain to you. I'll explain the framework completely. So, F-O-R-D. Each alphabet, each letter represents something, a particular topic on which you can have a conversation. Now, Ford method applies to, like I've said, to your colleagues. You're a new joinee somewhere, you can use the Ford method to have a conversation with your colleagues, with other members of the particular team. You can use it at your college to get to know somebody new, to make new friends. You're meeting your friend after a long time, use Ford method for conversation. You're meeting somebody around the neighborhood, use Ford method. You can use it anytime, anywhere with anybody. Okay, so Ford method is something that is the simplest way of having a conversation with anybody. So are you ready to know this? Let's begin with the complete framework that is the Ford method to have any conversation in English. Like I've said, Ford method. So the first letter is F. And F stands for family. F stands for family. Now you know somebody, you're meeting somebody who's your friend. You would know their family, obviously. A long time friend that you're meeting after some time, you can use the Ford method, you can talk about the family. You're meeting somebody new. Generally, people talk about their families. They like to tell each other about their family, about the members. I'm not saying that reveal something that is going to be problematic as your identity. Obviously not. Do not reveal identities of family member. But just mentioning, for example, that I have a sibling. If you are a married person, you can tell that, yeah, you have a daughter and something like that. People, especially if you are a parent to a particular preschooler, you can obviously go and talk to other parent at that particular school. If you are going to a parents-teacher meeting, you're going to an event, there you can obviously tell each other, oh yeah, my daughter is in this particular grade, she's doing this, she likes that activity. That is how you're talking about your family. So if you are joining a new company, obviously you can tell, yeah, I have a mother, father, parents. You can talk about your sibling, or if you're living in a joint family, something like that, you can obviously tell that. If you want to tell something related to like something specifically, my sister is also working in that company, this and that. So just like that, you can add up to something, like somebody is telling you about their sibling, maybe their achievement, somebody is telling about a particular family member and achievement of that family member. You can mention yours. Do not mention their name. I'm not saying that you have to mention the name and reveal the identity. No, you can just say, yeah, I have a sibling, I have this. And that is how you talk about your family. Talking about family does not mean that you have to give introduction of each and every member of your family. No, it's a simple conversation. Something where you can strike a balance. Maybe you can find something of interest, similar interest, maybe a similarity. For example, you have a sibling, maybe you have a sister, other person also has a sister. And then you can obviously talk about what it is like to have a sister, or maybe the person has a brother and you also have a brother. You can talk about that. Maybe both of your brothers or maybe sisters, something like that, they are in the same profession. Maybe they both are doctors, maybe they both are software engineers, maybe they both are architect. It can be anything, and then you can strike a balance. Oh yeah, my sibling is also doing that, working that, he or she is working there. So this is how you talk about something, any member of your family, your uncle, your aunt. You find something similar, you want to share something similar with other person, talk about family. So F stands for family, talking about family. So do that when you meet somebody who you're going to be there in contact for a long period of time. For example, you're meeting a complete stranger. I wouldn't say that with a complete stranger you should talk so much about your family. Don't reveal everything. You can just mention something that is similar, like they are telling you something and you want to add into something that is similar in your situation too. You can say that. But if you're meeting somebody who's going to be your colleague for a long time, your friend, maybe I've told you about around the neighborhood, you're meeting somebody, you're in the college, obviously you're going to stay in that college for a few years. They would know about your family somehow. They would get to know through your talks and everything. So that's completely fine. So go talk about it. It's a great topic, great way to start a conversation. F stands for family. Number 2. Okay, in the framework, the letter number 2 is O. Alphabet O stands for occupation. Occupation. Now, if you are a college student, obviously your occupation is going to be your studies, and you can talk about that. And I know as students, as college students, we have so much to talk about our studies and what we are planning in the future regarding studies and all that. So that is your occupation. Now, coming to all the working professionals, your occupation is something that is the major part of your life, defines who you are. So talking about your occupation with the other person is a great way to strike a conversation. And it's a great way to find a balance, because that is what people talk about a lot, their work. A lot of times they talk about the work culture that is at the workplace, their workplace, what kind of work culture is there, what happens. They often end up talking about their boss, if it's good, the behavior is good, not, and this and that. And a lot of times what happens generally as a culture and what is there, if you are working on a project, people often end up discussing, I have this project that is coming up and I have to do this and that, I'm so busy right now. And then they end up discussing something more related to that. If you are two people from different professions, you'll have so much to tell about your profession to other person, and it would be really interesting. And if you are two people from the same profession, again you'll have so much to talk about, because you know a lot of things about that profession. So you'd want to talk about a lot of similarities in your situation, but you're not working in the same company. If you're not colleagues, then there are going to be different situations too. So finding out the similarities, the differences and everything in that same profession is also a great way to have a conversation. So discussing about your profession, what you do, is always a great way and a very professional approach to start a conversation with somebody. So if you're talking to your colleagues, if you are new at a workplace, again you can tell about what you used to do in your previous company, something like that. You can talk about how much excited you are to begin working there. So that is, you're talking about your profession, your occupation, right? Occupation, profession, that's the same thing. So O stands for occupation. What do you do? What is your profession? Talk about that and have a great conversation with anybody. Number 3 is R. the letter number 3, alphabet number 3 is R, fort. Now, R stands for recreation. Recreation, that means what do you like to do in your free time, your recreational activities. Now, that's a very formal term. If I have to be informal, I'd say your hobbies. What do you like to do in your leisure time? What are your hobbies and all that? So that's a great way to talk to anybody. I think this is something where most of the people find comfort talking about their likes, their dislikes, their hobbies. What do they do as a part of recreational activity? That is something a lot of people are so excited to talk about, to discuss, and this is something where they are quite comfortable. That's what I have observed. Now, talk about it. Talk about your recreational activities. Maybe you like to listen to the music. It can be anything that you do as a part of your free time routine. If you like to take a walk outside, that is your recreational activity. If you've joined a particular club, for example, a badminton club, a swimming club, a music club, a reading club, for example, that is a part of your hobbies. What do you like to do? So that is what you're supposed to talk about. What do you like to do? And this is very interesting because you can find an X factor. X factor is basically a particular factor on which you both are so excited to talk about. A common ground. Something similar, something that is of interest and that's similar to both of you. People who are engaged in the conversation. So you can find common ground. Maybe you love reading, other person loves reading too. Maybe you love to watch movies, other person loves to watch movie too. Maybe you like to go for swimming at weekends and other person that goes for swimming too at weekends. So you can find a lot of similarities without even knowing, and you get to know other person better. So that's a great way to start or to carry forward any conversation. To have any conversation in English when you're talking about what do you like to do in your leisure time, what do you like to do as part of your hobbies, your recreational activities. R. So R stands for recreational time. That is your hobbies, your activities, anything that you do apart from your profession. That's your recreational activities, a part of your recreational activities. So talk about it and have a great conversation with anybody. Now the alphabet number 4, the last alphabet of this framework is D, Ford. And D stands for dreams. Dreams. So dreams, they equal to your aspirations. Your aspirations. What do you want to do in life? Where do you see yourself in future? Even if you're a working professional, you must have some vision for yourself in the future. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Although this is not a formal interview and I'm not asking you to ask this question. It's a very formal interview kind of question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? But I'm trying to give you an idea. Your dreams, your aspiration. Now, if you are a college student or maybe you are a fresher, maybe you're in the early 5 years of your profession, you'll have ample and ample of things to say, to talk about. As a working professional who are like maybe in their 30s, mid-30s, still you have so much to look forward to. Life is always going on and you need to talk about your dreams, your aspiration. Maybe you're looking for that promotion and you can talk about that. Maybe you're looking for a switch, you can talk about that. Maybe you're looking something else in life. Maybe you're looking for a new house. You can talk about that. Whatever is there, your dreams, your desires, your aspiration in life, you have to talk about it. It can be your goals. Simplified manner, if I have to use a simplified term, in the simplified manner, I would say your goals. So they are your goals, your aspirations. What do you want to achieve in life, in the future? So at whatever point you are in life, not even as a student only, there is something going to be ahead in future that you would want, that you would desire. There are always going to be some dreams in the future. That's how we live, right? What is the purpose of life otherwise? So talk about that. Talk about your dreams, your aspirations. And I'm sure you're going to have a great time talking to the other person because it motivates us. Whenever we listen to somebody's aspiration and then we discuss our own, it also helps us stay motivated. So it's a great way to have a conversation with anybody. Talk about your dreams. That's your aspirations and what do you want to achieve in life. So that was the Ford method. Ford method of conversation, a great method through which you can have a conversation with anybody. This particular method of conversation will help you have a fluent conversation in English. You can talk to anybody with confidence and have a great conversation because you have a framework, a particular framework on how to have good quality conversation, confident conversation with anybody. So use this framework, use Ford method and have great conversation and leave a lasting impression on the other person. So that's it. That is it for today. Now I'm gonna meet you again in a new lesson. Till then, everybody, take care and bye.